See him trapped inside a dead man's paradise. Streets full of parasites, criminal and thieves, killers feed off the savage night.
David, first, it's an honor to speak with you, my friend, especially with everything you've done in the industry, representing Canadian hip-hop, winning Grammys. I mean, man, you have worked your you-know-what off, and you've succeeded, man, and you've succeeded on your own terms. When you think about what you had to go through to reach the pinnacle the way you have, I mean, what are your thoughts about that?
You're going to make me want to cry because, you think about all the sacrifice, right? All the no sleep, the time you didn't spend with your kids when you should have, and you just worked and worked and worked. And it's quite the honor, quite the experience to stop and look back. I'm kind of the person, I just keep going. I don't really stop very often and look back. I don't try to rest on laurels or, what I did in the past. Just try to keep going. So, yeah, looking back is a little bit awestruck in some regards. Yeah, you hit it right on the nail.
Awestruck is one of the, when you look at the world today, dealing with COVID-19 for the last 3-4 months in Canada and in North America, around the world, and also racism being in the forefront now, where discussions are happening and people are more or less talking about it, and things are being shown that wasn't shown the way it has now as been before. I mean, what are your thoughts about all this?
I talk about it on the album. I mean, I don't talk about it, but we address it on there. In some regards, you got to look at it in a couple different ways. One is that, some of these things kind of already been there, and the discussion needed to happen as far as the racism. We need to get past that in Canada and America, with regards to everybody. Doesn't matter what race, color, creed. We gotta have the conversation. We need to move forward because it lingers. It's still lingering. Our people are being killed. With the police situation and other aspects too. So I mean, as far as that goes, that conversation is long overdue. There's a lot of healing that has to come from that if we're ever going to go forward, and we need to really put that into perspective. And I know a lot of people are angry, and they should be, but that hate and that anger is not going to help us move forward, right? We need to stop and have that dialogue and try to move forward. We can't just, we're spinning our wheels now, right? So, and then the COVID situation, that's like a wake-up call, right? Because the world is very fragile. And now you see how fragile it is. And a lot of people in our times haven't experienced anything like this. Some of the elders have gone through similar things like war and stuff. But, maybe people need to be kinder, to each other.
You just said it. Be kinder to each other. I actually have a T-shirt that says that I wear now at least once a week because I think it's important to keep that message out. And you have a message.
Is guilty, and
Same
I try
here.
every day to be
Same
kinder.
Here.
Yep.
Same. I absolutely, and I feel the same way too. I'm just like that too. But with your new album, The Spirit of Hip Hop, does that have a new meaning now? And when did you actually record it? And like I said, does it have a new meaning now today?
Well, I started it. It was kind of a labor of love. It was over 3 years, and then I started. I finished a few times, but then I kept changing it, and right up until the end. I added a couple songs right at the end last fall while I was, still mixing, and then actually handed it in to start releasing. But it's crazy how relevant a lot of the things are on there are. I couldn't have anticipated a situation where the world would be in this state when it dropped. I delayed the release a few times. A lot of things happened in my life that I had to, I wasn't focused enough to do the run I needed to do. So yeah, it's pretty interesting watching things unfold that are in the music. For example, I'm not sure if you've heard Turtle Island.
Yes, I haven't seen
Turtle
the video.
It is about the state of affairs in North America, Turtle Island. It's about police brutality. A lot of us have experienced that, Black and Indigenous, and that song is, bringing us the two together. and it's hit right on the nail. That was already a thing before this whole thing erupted. So I mean, now you see what we were talking about, how important that is, and the impact. And there's a lot of people that if you ask them, we all have a similar experience at some point in their life. So I mean, a lot of these topics needed to be addressed. There are some fun songs on there. It's not all serious, but I didn't really go in with a plan like, I want to address these things, right? You kind of go in the studio and you vibe with people and you try to make good music, and the result is, you kind of try to keep a focus on, the ultimate end result, but a lot of times you kind of let the vibe go, right? So, I mean, it is what it is, right? Maybe it was meant to be.
At the front door. They keep aiming at our minds, Wise up, you better stay woke. And keep up with the times, Cause they keep on killing our whole vibe. They're killing our whole vibe. They're killing our whole vibe. Babylon keep on killing our whole vibe.
The song is powerful, but the video is equally as powerful. Can you describe that too, and how this concept came about?
Well, we shot that on Six Nations with permission. Myself, I'm Mi'kmaq, so this is not my territory. Anything I would do in this territory, I would usually ask permission for. So we got permission, and we were out there, and we also got permission. If you notice in the video, we're inside the blockades in part of the video, and we got permission for that, and we went out and we did some work, and it was a great experience for everybody involved in the shoot. The concept was to take it home, to show a side of life that maybe most people don't see in the mainstream, not just in Canada, but in America. Things are similar and different at the same time. And, it's very, you kind of get a different insight, so it's hopefully eye-opening for some people. And it wasn't supposed to be just, a rowdy piece. It was supposed to be like, we're hurting over here. And that's what most people are missing in the message, is like a lot of pain associated with some of these things, and we're screaming out and singing about it, and we need to be heard, and we need to do these changes. It's like, it's some people, it's sad, but they don't, and it goes with everything, they don't want to make action until it's affected them, right? So, I may not have the best situation, but I'm going to try my best, and we all need to just try a little harder, so hopefully the message gets through.
What about Feathers? Because Feathers is a very traditional song.
Mm-hmm.
How did that concept come about, and what, again, is the meaning behind this?
Well, that song is Q-Rock at his finest. Not sure if you're aware of Q-Rock's history, but he is, bona fide, and it's such a beautiful song. It came at the end, and it was just magic, and I felt compelled to include it on there. And it's really, it's about showing the connection between, if you look at a feather, and we have a thing in our culture where we try to, follow a path, and when you grab an eagle feather, you follow that path down the stem, right? You try to stay in the straight and narrow, but sometimes you get going off to the side, you get, your path takes away, but you can always go back to that stem and try to get back, and that feather is very powerful, and a lot of the feathers have deep meaning in our culture, so that song was kind of relating the feathers to the words, and, the dance. See, Q-Rock is a traditional dancer, but he's also a ready-to-rock, formerly Mighty Zulu King. So, I mean, his b-boy, he's incredible with the dance. And the thing about it is he's so hip-hop, right? Mm-hmm. And he just displays it. The song's so beautiful, the piano, it just came out. And I'm really proud of him for that song, because he just brought, so many messages through. We addressed the gun violence. We address things in there, like the first line is, stop riding my coattails, because there's a lot of that goes around. People, we're invisible. People forget that. We're invisible to society, a lot of us, and we feel that way. They don't see us. So, trying to come with some powerful message is important. And that song was very much like a break, it's just so strong. It broke through, and I was like, I gotta share this because we get tired of being invisible,
I make it dance with them letters, huh? I make it dance with them feathers, yeah. I make it dance with them letters, huh? I make it dance with them feathers. I make it dance with them letters, huh? I make it dance with them feathers, yeah. I make it dance with them letters, huh?
Absolutely. Right now, you know that venues will not be open for a very, very long time.
I see that.
And a lot of artists are doing online performances.
Yeah.
Are you planning to do any of that?
I wasn't planning. I have been doing the odd thing. I did a couple festivals. I've done some things for different people, but I didn't really think it was going to be, I was hoping this wouldn't be a long-term thing, because originally I was supposed to tour and do all kind of things, but yeah, I might have to do something, eh? Yeah, maybe I should do a show for release day, or at least do a set. I could do a set where I spin the album and chop it up, and it might be something I should do because I can't even have a release party, and I really wanted to do that. It was a big deal, and we talked about it for a while. So yeah, go figure, right?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I was on my way back to New York when this happened, and I'm just said, no, I'll just wait it out. But now today said they're going to keep it closer another, and I'm just like, oh, it's unbelievable.
Look, my friend, I was literally on the plane for the Juno Awards, and hearing rumor, I landed. It was like, yeah, it's not happening, and literally I had to walk off the plane to a kiosk, get another plane ticket, and fly right back. That was my day.
I was in Winnipeg and was going to come back and then go there to the Junos. So I was I just was New York, Winnipeg, and then I ended up Montreal and back. But I was supposed to go to the Junos and then it all just got shut down. And I was just like, come on, But I'm making the best of it. We got to try to make the best of it, right?
And that's just it. And which is why one of the things I want to ask you before we wrap this up, I'm just curious, where do you keep your Grammys?
Well, I don't really, the Grammy I got for that that project was from Take Care. So that's from Engineering on Take Care, right?
Yeah.
So Take Care is Drake album. So actually that particular, it's funny because usually the artist will only get the Grammy.
Right.
Or the producer will get one if they produce more than 50%. So I know 40 got one, but they managed to get one for Gadget, who mixed most of the album, and I was fortunate enough to assist him on a lot of that. So that, I'm supposed to get I would get the award that you put in a frame, right? Mm-hmm. They also issue something for your nominations. Was also nominated in 2003, I believe, for the Glenn Lewis album that I engineered on.
Amazing album, by the way.
Yeah, that was just the making of that album. I was working on that album, Ghetto Concept, Seven Bills All Stars, and a couple other big records at the time. I even think I had Babyface in the studio that summer. There was Method Man was in town. That was a really cool summer. And then, so all those, when you get a nomination, you're supposed to get the thing. I just never get around to them getting it, and I never go. And the same thing with, I don't know if the Junos have any of that. I was saying it the other day in an interview. I'm like, because they asked me, I'm like, well, I don't actually have an engineering Juno, but there's 20 projects that I engineered on that were nominated for Junos, and I think 10 wins or so. So I'm like, yeah, I count that as a win, The artist won, I won. That's how I look at it. But I don't have any. The most things I have are I have some Drake plaques. I have some other plaques from other records, but it's mostly paintings, and I don't have I'm not like 40 where I have 50 songwriters awards. Right down the hall, and I'm like, dude, okay, yeah, wow, because some of the, it's just amazing to watch, and I'm just so happy to see the story turn out the way it did for, a lot of people. Not every case is like that. I've watched some artists, with so much talent just get so close and not get through, and then, time is father time, which is, catches all of us. But, yeah, I try to keep it humble.
And you do.
But I get, one day I'll start collecting that stuff, and maybe when I have more space.
Yeah, I don't believe me. I know what you're saying. I've got tons of awards, and to be honest with you, I've only got maybe one or two of them up, and a lot of them are in boxes and stuff. And I keep saying over and over again, yeah, one day I'll put them all out, but like you just said, I need more room.
Well, I also kind of figured there's a time expiry date on what I do, so eventually I won't be doing it, and I'll have more time. And I also paint and stuff, so I got too many paintings. So yeah.
My friend, to get a hold of you or to see everything you're doing, social media is the place to go. Where do we go to follow you?
The best place is Instagram. That's my most. I'm not really on Twitter much. David.Strickland on Instagram. My Facebook is facebook.com/certainman with a C. I'm not big on social media. I pop in and out. I have a website that's kind of still under construction, but it's davidstricklandstudio.com. There's a web store attached to it where I have merch and paintings. But yeah, I'm pretty low key type of fellow. So, but I'm easy to find if you really want to find me.
David, I want to say it's really an honor to speak with you. Thank you so much for the interview. Thank you so much for what you've done for the industry. Thank you for helping bring out some of the best Canadian artists out there to the world. And just thank you for this great album that I think we need right now to help heal. Thank you again.
I appreciate your words. Thank you for having me.
Take care, my friend. Talk soon. Bye-bye.